All right, my friends, we are on the last chapter. Look at all that. That's not even stuff to read because a lot of it is just references. Okay, congratulations. We're making this, we're doing this. And I want to know, like, how did you come across this book? Are you using it for school or whatever? Is there anything that I've sparked along the way besides what's just in the book to like that you resonate with? What is this useful for? What are you learning? Does it change anything because you found out that you were kind of like taught things that weren't true? Okay, just because people didn't know any better. All right, they were just teaching from what they knew. So let's finish this up, and then maybe we can create like a discussion group after the fact, just to learn more from it. Maybe I can establish a class on it. And I think that that would be fun because it's like so much easier when I'm going on the basis of something that already exists. And then I can break it down into like how to remember everything. It would almost be like a study guide if you really needed it for something of that. But it's like a study guide for life. Okay. School doesn't matter other than to get some stupid piece of paper that makes other people feel like they can trust you to get some shit done, which is not what, okay, whatever. So welcome back. My Stroke of Insight by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, Chapter 20, Tending the Garden. I have learned so much from this experience with stroke that I actually feel fortunate to have taken this journey. Thanks to this trauma, I have had the chance to witness firsthand a few things about my brain that otherwise I would never have imagined to be true. For these simple insights, I will always be grateful, not just for myself, but for the hope these possibilities may bring to how we as people choose to view and nurture our brains and consequently behave on this planet. I am grateful for your willingness to join me on this tense journey. I sincerely hope that whatever circumstances brought you to this book, you move forward having gleaned some insight into your brain or the brain of another. I trust with my right hemisphere's heart consciousness that this book will now flow from your hands into the hands of someone who may benefit from it. That's all you. I hope that there's more people that will watch this. I already know that that's going to happen. So that was what her hope was. So I don't have to feel guilty about reading her book on the internet and like not making everybody buy it first. Okay, I always end my emails with a tagline quote from Einstein. I believe he got it right when he said, I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. Okay, I learned the hard way that my ability to be in this world is completely dependent on the integrity of my neurocircuitry, cell by beautiful cell, circuit by neurocircuit. Consciousness I experience within my brain is the collective awareness established by those marvelous little entities as they weave together the web I call my mind. Thanks to their natural neuroplasticity, their ability to shift and change their connections with other cells, you and I walk the earth with the ability to be flexible in our thinking, adaptable to our environment, and capable of choosing who and how we want to be in the world. Fortunately, how we choose to be today is not predetermined by how we were yesterday. I view the garden in my mind as a sacred path of cosmic real estate that the universe has entrusted me to tend over the years of my life. As an independent agent, I and I alone, in conjunction with the molecular genius of my DNA and the environmental factors I'm exposed to, will decorate this space within my cranium. In the early years, I may have minimal input into what circuits grow inside my brain, because I am the product of the dirt and seeds I have inherited. But to our good fortune, the genius of our DNA is not a dictator, and thanks to our neurons' plasticity, the power of thought, and the wonders of modern medicine, very few outcomes are absolute. Regardless of the garden I have inherited, once I consciously take over the responsibility of tending my mind, I choose to nurture those circuits that I want to grow, and consciously prune back those circuits I prefer to live without. Although it's easier for me to nip a weed when it is just a sprouting bud, with determination and perseverance, even the gnarliest of vines, when deprived of fuel, will eventually lose its strength and fall to the side. The mental health of our society is established by the mental health of the brains making up our society. And I must admit that Western civilization is a pretty challenging environment for my loving and peaceful right hemisphere character to live in. Obviously, I'm not alone. and feeling this way as I look to the millions of beautiful people in our society who have chosen to escape our common reality by self-medicating themselves with illicit drugs and alcohol. I think Gandhi was right when he said, "We must be the change we want to see in the world." I find that my right hemisphere consciousness is eager for us to take the next giant leap for mankind and step to the right so we can evolve this planet into the peaceful and loving place we yearn for it to be. Your body is the life force power of some 50 trillion molecular geniuses. You and you alone choose moment by moment who and how you want to be in this world. I encourage you to pay attention to what is going on in your brain. Own your power, show up for your life, beam bright. And when your life force wanes, I hope you will give the gift of hope and donate your beautiful brain to Harvard. I definitely will. If I get that opportunity, okay? Definitely, definitely, definitely. Because my brain is different than others. I know it for a fact. And I want you to think about this, okay? America was founded upon people who came from other places to have something better, whether it was for greed, whether it was for survival, it doesn't matter. That's what it was about. It was a new world, okay? It's not a fucking new world anymore. It's not that thing. It's not this hope of promise. So now what we have to do is, if you don't love it, get out, okay? I joined the army because I didn't love the freedoms that we are capable of having here. You have the freedom to choose whatever the fuck you want, destroy your life however you want, and it makes us feel good to be American about that. That is not, you have the freedom to help each other through brotherhood and sisterhood, and that has died, okay? That's non-existent right now. She is changing the world through the information that she's giving. All the stuff that she talked about in this book, let's even just see when she wrote this. 2008, Time Magazine. No. Hang on. Because you know how much the world has changed. It had to have been before COVID. 2009. No, copyright 2006. So this is just like the new printing was in 2000. Okay. 2006. I was like in South Korea. I had like just joined the army I had depped in 2004 in November, and then I had finally shipped off in February of 2005. And then by 2006, I was in Korea. The world was so different back then. You have to realize how much it has changed. Has it gotten better? Are we better as a society, or are we worse? And if we are not better, what brought us that way? What brought us to that? Was it passing fads? Was it trends? Was it shit that like, oh, we just got to update your cell phones, and you have to buy new ones just because you can't run the operating system anymore, or like you can't have flip phones or whatever. You had to conform. You don't have to anymore. You get to choose what you want to do. And what I have been doing is I'm trying to fix I'm trying to right the wrongs in my life that were caused by other people. They were caused by husbands who made me promises that they didn't come through on. It was like the first one I had 4 kids with, and we stayed together for 13 years. And on my other channel, that is where I have told story after story after story of the ridiculous uphill battle that this has been. Well, I've been trying to do the right thing the whole time. The right thing by society's standards and rules are not what the most powerful people follow in that society, okay? So, if I'm so angry at America, why don't I just get out? Well, I will when I can. I don't know how, but I do have 4 children that still have partial ownership by their by their father, who is in law enforcement. And he chose his job over moving with them, which the place that I live right now, it was his idea to move here. I am in New York. He is in Louisiana. I am telling you, these stories relate to you whether or not you go through them, because our brains are the fucking same. Our emotions are the fucking same, okay? There is no person, no matter what you look on the outside, no matter what time in history you exist, and no matter what time in the future they exist, no matter what clothes you're wearing or poverty you're in or riches you're in, our brain works the same. We know it again and again and again. So I am going to be making my steps into creating a world that I want if it doesn't already exist. And then I welcome you to come with me. You are not some sort of turncoat for going against the country who, if you need help, where do you go to just go and ask for help? Where can you go without having an appointment, doing something online? You got to do it online, so you have to have access to technology and all this other shit. You do not have freedom, okay? I don't think anybody in this world has freedom unless we don't know about them. If the internet has made it to where they're at and that area gets to be on the news, there is a limited amount of freedom. The only freedom that you have is here. It is here, and then it's in the actions that you do. If you are acting in a compassionate way because you overstand and understand what other people are going through, there is no rule that you can break that is wrong, okay? If you have to break a rule of the land in order to save somebody from something that it's out of their control, you choose humans over choosing rules, okay? Period. I love you. I hope you will continue to hang out and we will learn together. But I really want to learn from you. I want to know what you've learned through all of this. Okay. I love you. Send up a prayer for Jill just to thank her. Send a gratitude prayer for all that she went through so that you didn't have to. Remember Jesus? Remember all that he went through so that we didn't have to, whether you believe it or not. Okay. It's a myth. So be it. I think that he's like proven to have a historical existence, but there's these myths. They just come at different times. Okay. So it's the energy. That energy is there and it embodies a human to create the myth so that everybody has this mythical figure of perfection in a human form. It is not the perfection of like God or Yahweh or whatever you want, Jehovah, all these different names that we have, Allah, right? There's so much to learn in this world, but the best learning comes from within here between you and somebody else. Ask for their truth, not for what they've learned from others, unless it's based on relationships that they've had from people. All right. I love you. Ciao. Okay. Have a great day. Ciao for now.